he said he was laid for dead.
Oh, yeah.
So it's fascinating what Paul's going through.
You wonder what that talk with Ananias must have been like when God sends Ananias to him and says, to tell him what he must suffer.
Yeah.
And I mean, because Ananias on his own would have had no idea.
Right.
So did he come to him and give him specifics and say you're really going to have to suffer the stoning and the shipwreck and everything else? Or did he just say you're going to really have to suffer a lot? So and God's going to be with you the whole way. So I hope you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Was he general? Was he specific? Man, some of that I wouldn't want to hear.
Yeah.
Don't send me out on a mission and tell me what's going to happen. I'd rather be surprised.
Paul was a zealot.
Yes.
He was
100% all the way in.
Yes. So when he went and worked toward Christ, he said, all right, that's fine. I'm going to do this. I know what I did back there. And
I know it's coming.
I know that I'm probably going to get hit with a lot of stuff, but I'm going to do it.
I mean, you think about, here's Paul, and we'll just throw any name out there. We'll use your name just because it's biblical. Here, Paul was training Daniel to take over the spot of the persecutor of the church. So here's Daniel with him, and he's like, Ananias is coming to Paul and going, these are the things that are going to happen to you. And Paul's going like, I did that to someone, 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 and I did that to someone. Makes sense to me because I know what Daniel's going to do to me if he ever catches me because I trained him that well. And he is under the influence of the law and under the influence of the Pharisees, so they're going to do that because I did it. I know what they're going to do to me if they ever catch me. But it don't matter. I've met the real living Christ. And that's where the zealous came in. He was 100% in both worlds. So he knew both worlds. That's how he could speak to them. So it's pretty fascinating. And verse 6. As to my zeal that you just talked about for Jewish tradition, a persecutor of the church, and as to righteousness, supposed right living with my fellow Jewish believers, is in the law, I prove myself blameless.
Wow.
Verse 7, we talked about that pretty good. He was blameless. They had nothing they could find for him.
Wow.
Verse 7, but whatever former things were gains to me, as I thought then, these things once regarded as advancement in merit, I have come to consider as loss, absolutely worthless, for the sake of Christ and the purpose which He's given me in my life. They're worthless. All that training, all those study hours, all the
things he denied himself.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure were many.
Yeah. All the sacrifice that I had. Leaving family behind so that I could do this. Not having family so that I could do this. Not doing this or doing this and doing this. Possibly slaughtering friends and family because they became Christians. But my zeal for my pharisaical look and law was, if you deny the God that I think it should be denied, I've got to kill you. Well, best friend Benny over here just accepted Christ, but as my Jewish zeal, I've got to imprison him or kill him. I deny my friendship to him. All these things. And when you say, when they was given that list to Paul when he was laying on the bed blind, I can see Paul picturing faces. I remember killing them that way. I remember killing them that way. I remember killing them that way. I remember throwing them in the worst dungeon I could find in that. And I remember throwing them out on ships. This is deep speculation. I remember throwing them out on ships that are going to sink, so they would drown, and had them tied up or whatever. So you can just imagine the things Paul's going through his mind here. The purpose which has given my life. Verse 8. But more than that, I count everything as loss compared to the priceless privilege and supreme advantage of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord, and of growing more deeply and thoroughly acquainted with Him. A joy unequaled. For His sake, I have lost everything, and I consider it all garbage, so that I may gain Christ. Whew! He used some pretty powerful words there. Priceless, supreme advantage, And then he turns it to lost everything,